calling from Seattle, Washington. Michael Lai here with the Advanced Business Workshop. Today, I want to share with you some great idea, great strategy that you can really, apply into your business, right? Improve your business. So we started the program, of me, every, Tuesday, uh, sharing with you best idea and practice. We start with time management, right? Creating the schedule that work for you and time management aspect of the business. So on day number two, we share with you about customer acquisition, you know, and way that you can, way that you can find business for you, right? Because there are three ways to get business. You either wait for business to find you, or you can go and buy the business, through a lot of advertising, promotion, and assuming if you have a lot of money, you do that, and or number three, you follow, our system, which is going out there and own the business. It's just like, me coming, as a refugee coming to the U.S. I didn't know a soul, didn't know anybody, didn't have any money, and didn't have any skill or didn't know how to speak English either, right? So I have no choice but to pick option number three, which is go out there and own business, right? We call that a very duplicatable, very predictable, but it's also very profitable way to build business. I know a lot of entrepreneurs, especially in real estate, they make money, but they also spend a lot of money for marketing and promotion and buying business. So the net profit for them is not a whole lot because they expand for the business beside, fixed expand, marketing expand, advertising expand, promotion expand, so you really have to look at and say what would be the most profitable way to build business, for your company and for yourself, right? So that's why we discussed about, finding business through the efficient customer acquisition technique, right? So we discussed, on day number three about working with your, past client and the sphere influence, people that know you, like you, trust you, and support you, right? And how do we get 10% of people on your database and support you and send business for you, right? So on day number four, we're looking at the pre-qualify your customer, and we discussed, in depth about qualify your customer. You want to work with quality customer, not quantity, right? You want to build a profitable, good, business, through, qualify and working with the people that receptive, cooperative, and gonna work with you. They're gonna buy from you. They're gonna appreciate your service, right? So instead of spending your time, wasted your time and work with everybody, anywhere, anytime, it's not really the way to do it. So on the day number five, we touch base on the the ideas of follow up, because 78% of your business that come to you is not because of the customer acquisition. It's not because of the first meeting, your client, but it's about the efficient way to follow up on the client, right? So on day number six, we're looking at the listing presentation, right? The how do you have a professional presentation, for your service, for your business, that get the client to work with you. I mean, like on the scale of 1 to 10, 1 is being the worst, 10 being the best. How good is your presentation, right? How many customer, how many contact that you make in order to get a business, and and then how many appointments you need to go on, how many presentation that you have to make in order for you to get the business. So what would be your ratio, right? So today, we wanted to share with you about the pricing, right? Face it, it doesn't matter how good of a job or how much money, how much budget that you spending on marketing, set up your operation, and about your service. But if you taking on a product, right, taking on a business, taking on a listing, in our industry, either we do residential listing, whether we do office leasing, whether we do retail leasing, whether we do industrial sale, whether we do retail sale, right? And face it, no matter how good of a job that you do, that you establish, relationship working with your client, right? But if you're not good in pricing your product, right, it's not gonna sell, right? Doesn't matter how much money, how much effort, how much time that you put into it, but you're not gonna get paid. But I say that over the last 20 years when I working training and coaching over 146 entrepreneur, and 11 of my students went on to become a self-made millionaire in real estate, right? So, what I would like to share with you is that, like I say, pricing your product is really important, right? So, no matter how much marketing that you put into it, you're not gonna get an overpriced product sold, right? And we sold and help over 3,000 clients already, so we know the importance of the pricing, right? And so, in terms of pricing your product, I say that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, as a CEO of your company, right, to take on the business, and you have two choices when you look at the pricing the product, okay? Either if you price the product right, you you get paid, right? And if you do not price the product right, instead of getting paid, you pay, right? You pay your time, you pay your marketing, you pay you pay your time and effort of your team pulling together to work on the assignment, whether it's listing home, whether listing commercial building, whether listing leasing, you are not gonna get paid, and you pay. So, for example, if I were to take in on if I were to take in on a listing residential, right? And I got to spend time, to marketing, to prospecting, to do lead customer acquisition to get the client. And then, when the client hire me to work on the assignment for them, right? Because I have a list of the commitment in writing or services I have to provide for my client. I then have to execute it on the written plan that I providing for my client. So I have to go through either, put up signage, neighborhood marketing, printed advertising, send out mail, direct mail, get a property, post it on, social media, get, doing all the work of the marketing and to get the assignment, to get the work done, right? But how is that gonna work if my product not selling? Then instead of getting paid, make my customer happy and satisfied, and get the job done for them, I don't get the job done because I fail to do the most important thing, which is pricing the product, right? So if you look at business, it's about it's not it's not the market, it's pricing, right? Last week I shared with you on the previous video that in 2010, in the middle of the market change, and it's very dramatic. We, as a company, we sold over like we have over like 300 customers, right? So you look at like 2010, when the whole Fannie Mac, Andy Mac, Washington Mutual, all the bank and everything it collapsed in the market, and why we sold 300, why we have 300 customers, right? Why? It's not the market, it's the pricing, right? So if you be able to learn how to price it right, you'll be able to do business, right? So I'm sharing with you the foundation and the fundamental of building a business, right? So this program will continue on for, the foundation of 20 lessons that I will be sharing with you. I'm a builder, I'm a developer, right? I'm also a business builder. But when I build a homes, when I build a building, I don't just go out there and go and build a business right away. Build a building right away. I got to go and find the land. I got to raise capital, right? I had to hire, the design team, entitlement team, right? Included civil engineer, electrical engineer, structural engineering, working with municipality, right? Working with the bank, pulling the business plan together, right? I go submit for the building permit, and then I hire the general contractor to build a building, whether it's a mixed use, it's a hotel, or the residential. I do not, in business, when you start in a business, you got to learn how to build a strong, solid foundation. And the Advanced Business Workshop with the 20 lesson that I'm sharing with you, that is the foundation of you building a strong business, especially in the changing market, fundamental required, right? So pricing property, right? I wrote down here that according to the NAR, the Association of Realtors, which about, I do not know the number of a member, but it should be between 1.2 million to 1.6 million member, right? According to the NAR, it's the largest real estate organization residential in the USA, right? It's saying that if you have the asset, you list it on the market, after the 10 showing, right? After 2 weeks, after the 10 showing, the asset, the listing is probably overpriced by at least, 4 to 5%, right? So you really look at it, right? So how do we get the knowledge of the local market? And real estate is very local, right? Very local. So, like for over here in Seattle, Washington, we have a supply and demand. And because of our economy here is so strong, we have $2 trillion company here, Microsoft and Amazon and Boeing and Costco and all that. Economy is so strong, so are the positive migration, and then no state income tax. People from positive migration, that's the thing. That people are moving into our area. So the market is strong. We see the balance between supply and demand, right? So there are a lot of demand, less supply, right? So that's why you got to be able to see the statistics of the market, and also knowing the property, property statistics that give you the strong knowledge of the local market. What would be the absorption rate in the marketplace, right? And that can give you the more confidence, in the pricing, when you're in front of your customer, right? So, when you're in front of customer, logical, it always makes sense, So, our client, they expecting the professional to know the supply and demand. They know statistics of the market, what absorption would be, right? So, I wrote down is, as a professional, you are not responsible for the price. The market is, right? You are just simply a messenger. The price is go up, you cannot take credit for it. And so don't take it personal when the prices go down, right? So as a professional, you don't own the asset. The customer own the asset, right? You are just the messenger, right? So don't be, you cannot take credit for the price go up, and you cannot take it personal on yourself when the prices go down, right? So I know right now, retail leasing is going down, office leasing is going down, because of demand. On the other hand, the price of residential is flat out in the marketplace, right? So the statistic, that's what gonna get the people to understand, right? So I wrote down is that when you know your asset, your listing is overpriced, you call your client immediately, and you're waiting for your customer to call you it is in the form of a malpractice, right? In law we say malpractice. That is serious. If you know the asset that you take, the assignment that you take on, the asset is overpriced, your job is to call in your client to tell them, right? Don't let them to call you, because who the professional here? You are or your client, right? So it is malpractice for you to let in your client know that the price is over. If the price is overpriced, you gotta let them know, right? So I wrote down here that in working with the price reduction, right? We have a tendency to talk too much and justify too much, just tell them what they need to hear, right? In terms of, if you're gonna get the price reduction, and I know that, in a normal market, most of the listing is sold, but still, 30 to 35% of the listing is still not sold, right? Again, you know, just to give the statistic, the number of the market. Remember, you're not responsible for the market go up or go down. So to give the number and statistic for your client, right? Tell them what they need. Just tell them what they need to hear. I wrote down. You turn down the price reduction if you can get the price that you need, because it's harder to get the second price reduction is really harder to get, right? And so I wrote down here that to build your business, and to build your business, to help your client, to get your assignment, because every business relationship starting out with you providing a good service and the result for your customer, right? So our success in the business, from getting the access, so get the assignment done, it starts with the price, right? The sooner we price it right, the faster it sells, and the smoother your business gonna run. The happier your client is, right? I don't know if any client out there that believe, that trust somebody professional to representing to sell their access for them, and they don't get the assignment done, they don't get customer pay, and they don't get and that customer gonna be happy, right? So the success of the business always starting with the price, right? The sooner you price it right, the faster it sells. The smoother your business run, the happier your customer is, and you know what? And the more revenue that you create for yourself and for your business, right? So it's starting out with the price, right? So I wrote down here is that yes, over the 22 years in the real estate business in Seattle, Washington, right? I mean, I get, every market is the same, whether you're in Vietnam, whether you're in Tokyo, whether you're in Hong Kong, whether you're in New York, whether you're in Los Angeles or Las Vegas, the concept is work the same anywhere, anytime, right? So we must know the statistic overall of the market to create the higher impact, right? So you really know the market, what is performing out there, right? So if you wanted to know more about this, come into our advanced business workshop. We're gonna train you in depth about pricing the asset, right? So the market is changing on the regular basis, right? It's just like the pandemic right now that's happening in the U.S. The month of January, February of 2020, we starting out very strong. The entire USA market, right? And then the Lunar New Year, that the pandemic, coronavirus happened. It spread about the whole world, and then it dragged the market into the tank, right? A huge amount of retailer anchor filing for a bankruptcy, and then the market flattened out, it locked down, imposed, for most of the neighborhood in the country. So the market changed, right? So the market is changed. The market change on a regular basis. So you have to be mentally prepared for it to go on the meeting with your client. And you know what? Tell them the truth to the where we are with the market, right? So I wrote down here is that you always price the asset to sell. That can give you an edge in the marketplace versus, you know, versus pricing in the same as the competition, right? I train and coach so many top producers in the area. I used to be a CEO of Windermere Real Estate R&D and Prudential Real Estate R&D. We do over 28 to 30% of total market share here. Let me share with you one thing. The reason make an entrepreneur successful, make a customer successful, is start with the pricing the asset to sell, right? You don't price in the asset to sell, then instead of getting paid, you pay, right? So, when you're talking about, I wrote down here, yes, you go at least, 5-7% under the market. So when the client talk to you, you will be at the market value. And the key here, ladies and gentlemen, is that you will be pricing your asset at the market value, right? So I wrote down here, it's really important, telling the truth, no matter how comfortable, no matter how uncomfortable it becomes, right? You're telling the truth about what would it take to get the job done. If you don't tell the truth, you might not get the job done, right? And you end up losing your relationship. You telling the truth that sometimes you losing the business. You losing the leasing. You losing the listing. You losing the client. But that's okay because in the changing market, if the asset is not selling, it's still coming back to you. The principal, the seller, the owner, right? The client still going back to you, right? The guy and the gal are telling the truth, right? So even you lose the business, just have to tell your client the truth. Because sometimes we wanted to take the business because you got to go in, you compete with other, usually sell client the interview, 2, 3, 4 different company, and everybody want to compete with each other, and they compete with on the price. That's not really the way to go, right? So even you lose a business, but you have to tell him the truth, right? I wrote down is that make sure you understand the cost of taking the business, the cost of servicing the business, right? And the cost of getting the product sell. So you can have the right mindset about taking a particular assignment, right? So what is the cost of your doing the business, right? So let's say you're taking on a residential listing. How much it cost for you to doing all the marketing, right? All the mailing, right? All the promotion, right? And then how much it cost for you to take on that assignment for how long, right? So how much money is gonna cost you? What type of budget is gonna cost you? So you can have the right mindset about taking on the assignment, right? So that's the key, So I wrote down here that when you get your assignment, because I know you end up with taking asset inventory at overpriced, right? So when you get on the assignment, it has been overpriced. The product is overpriced. Let the client know and updating your client on a regular basis regarding the pricing. Or yet calling them every week regarding the price, right? Nobody's gonna get mad to you if you know that your product is overpriced and you educate them about the market static, the market condition, right? Why their asset is not sold yet. Why didn't they get the proceeds, the funding that they need to do whatever that they wanted to do, right? So when you know about this overpriced, updating them on a regular basis, right? So yeah, so I wrote down here that yes, you tell your client if you get a lot of showing with no offer, that their asset is overpriced. And if you get no showing, their property is like way overpriced, So this is the last point I'm gonna share with you is that your job as an your job as a professional, right, is to play the asset, the property, the strategic, strategically in the market through the price, and drive many consumer buyer possible to that asset in order to negotiate the contract, right? So your job as a professional to play that home in a position in the marketplace so it's sold, right? Right. So that's what I wanted to share with you, in today's program with the limited of the amount of time that I have. But I still think that pricing property is the most important aspect of your business, right? So the price like flues, right? It will go up, it will go and down based on the market, what the market doing, and what the competition are doing as well, And so you know, so you're not responsible for it, right? So you know I hope that you can take some of the idea and strategy that apply into your business and are helping your business. And I always, I appreciate you taking the time, from your schedule, to watching this program today, and coming back, next week we'll be sharing with you different idea that gonna help your business to grow and to expand in today's market.